E39 source, hello and welcome. I'm going to be doing a install video today of the M Audio subwoofers, part of the M Audio package available for the 2001 model year, which started in production 9 September of 2000. On the M5, it was called M Audio. The biggest thing they changed were the rear subs. Instead of having the DSP system, which is visible here, this is a Nokia subwoofer box, which with 2, 4, or maybe they're 5-inch subwoofers inside. They use these, which are 10 inches. We'll get you some part numbers right here, if that'll focus. They're 8 ohms. Buying these new from a dealer can be very expensive. Your best option is to search eBay or find somebody on one of the forums parting out a car, which is how I got incredibly lucky, getting 2 of these, a set for $200, including the cables, all unmolested, aside from, of course, being cut off of the car. So I'm not too worried about installation into the car as much as the wiring, but I'm not even that worried about that. As we can see, this connector here, the left one plugs in, the right one plugs in. Then you've got 8 wires, which should be able to be spliced in with wire end connectors to the existing plug. So this video, I'm going to attempt to DIY all of this myself today. I don't have any extra hands because I'm an impatient man. So we're gonna get started in the back of the car. Actually, probably the hardest part of this entire deal is removing the rear deck, which I've done before, so I'm not incredibly worried about that. It takes a little bit of time. You've got to be careful. Aside from that, it's really not that bad. There's a bunch of bolts, bunch of clips, bunch of screws, and a bunch of time if you've never done it before. Aside from that, it's not bad. So that's going to be our first step. I'm going to get a little tool bucket over here going on. I'm going to plug that light in. Budget some time for this job. Definitely budget some patience. So I'm going to get my tools and then we'll start with pulling the rear deck out. Let me preface this by saying that installing the M Audio subwoofers will work in any BMW E39 5 Series, that's the 96 through 2003 5 Series, providing the fact that you have a DSP, Dynamic Sound Profile, or portfolio, whatever that was, amplifier, which, if you don't know, will either come with those, if you have an 01 Plus M5 with M Audio, or the carpet up on top of your trunk. If you just have metal up there and no subwoofers, you have what's known as the hi-fi system, and you won't be able to add these guys unless you add the DSP amp, which is the big black amplifier back there. To begin the rear deck disassembly, we're going to start with our C-pillar lights. I recommend you turn them off. Your door's probably open. Turn them off using your main dome light over there, just so they don't get hot. Then you're going to get a flathead screwdriver or a designated pry tool. Be careful, try not to damage your Alcantara or whatever material you have here, and just pry it out. It doesn't take a lot of force. Pry that out, disconnect it, and set it aside. Once the light is out, depending on what model year E39 you have, your C-pillar needs to come out. This is your C-pillar here. Mine is easy. This is a production February 2000 M5. They just have these clips. You get your hands as close as you can to those clips and pull pretty hard back towards you. Some of them have 8mm bolts. I think the facelift models, 2001, 2, and 3, have bolts. The clips go here. I think the bolts are in the same location. So just grab your ratchet, throw an 8mm on the end, pull those out. Then you'll be able to pull the A-pillar out this way and then slide it towards the driver's or the front of the car, and it'll pop right out like that. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side now. Your next step is to grab your headrests, pull them straight up, and put them somewhere else. To access the main bolts that hold the rear deck down, we need to come in the back, obviously, here, and these are the child safety restraints, I think. They have these little black plastic clips on. They just pop off. If you come over here in the front, or maybe the back, pry on them for a couple seconds, it'll come off, revealing that, which I believe is a 13mm bolt. It's pretty long. You're going to want to loosen that. This will come with it. Take that whole assembly out, put it somewhere safe. With those 3 out of the way, we're not going to do something that's either going to take you 2 seconds or 10 minutes. If you have split fold seats, fold them down like that. There's a handle. Pull the handle towards you when you're sitting in the back of the car looking towards the rear, and they slide down. If you do not have split fold seats, you need to remove them, which involves the bottom cushion, which I actually think I can avoid for this. For what I'm doing, I don't think I need to pull my bottom cushion. If you do, it takes you 3 seconds no matter what your setup is. Put a hand right here, pull up with maybe 30 pounds of force, you're not going to break it. It unclips. There's a clip here and a clip there. Do the same thing on the other side. Works better with two people. You can do it yourself. Once both clips are free, you just pull it up and out of the car, either rear door. And then this seat here, Colt has a video on his DIY on how to do that if you can't figure it out. I've done it on his car twice. It's not difficult. Just look for a couple screws that hold it in. I believe there is something under this panel here that holds that in on his car. I barely remember, but you'll figure it out. It's not bad. With the seat like this, if you do have the split fold seats, you need to remove all of these little pop rivets here. I've already done one, so I remember how it works, but if we can get a close-up on that, sorry for the poor lighting, there's a piece in the middle that you need to get a screwdriver out, pry that piece out, see if I can do it on camera. Yeah, it looks like I can. That comes out like this. This is just completely straight, and that holds tension on the larger clip. So once that straight piece is out, I did the last one with my hands. We'll see if I can do this one. This just comes out like that. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of those. Put those somewhere safe. I'm just using my door pockets for smaller parts. And that's going to be the next big thing holding the rear deck down. With this, if you need to remove the side pieces of seat, grab it about here and pull very hard towards you. Of course, being careful, but don't be scared. There's a clip right there that it goes into, and then there's a hook a little further down that will be more important during reassembly, but it's pretty easy to pull towards you. It'll be the same on the other side. I've gotten all of the little pop rivets there out. Once that's done, you're going to need to lay on your back with the split fold again, and it kind of lips underneath the frame of the car here. So just pry those down, then that whole piece will come out for you. So I've got my rear deck down like this right now. Now the right way to do it, to fully remove it from the car, would be to pull up the bottom seat cushion using a 13mm socket and ratchet, undo the bolts that hold down the seat belts and the seat belt holders down into the floor of the car, and then slide those through the holes here, removing the little plastic trim where the seat belt slides through. I don't feel like doing all of those steps, so I don't think I'm going to. Here's the rear deck of the car, what we're going to be dealing with. That black hole right there is where the existing Nokia sub is. There's another one right over there. My, I guess, sound deadening material was covering that. However, it's pre-cut, kind of, so you can just slide that out. Now, if you're really gonna go crazy with it, grab your Dremel and put some saw blade on the end and cut out the 10-inch holes. It'll probably sound 2% better. I'm not gonna take the steps to do that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. So I'm just gonna use the existing 4 or 5-inch holes. So our next step is going to be to remove, and you could have done this first if you wanted to, remove the actual Nokia box up here, which I'm gonna reposition my light in a minute, but I believe it's just 3 Phillips screws here. 1, 2 on the right there, and then 3 all the way over here on the left. And then that should just drop right down. Be careful of your wires, disconnect your wires, which are gonna be right up here, and then it'll pull towards you and then drop down. Alrighty, we dropped that down. The hardest part was just being able to support it. It's probably 20 pounds while disconnecting this, which is the existing wire from that. Notice the 8 wires. Hopefully that's what we'll be using and splicing into for the M audio. Now there's I'm seeing 2 connectors that hold the carpet to the actual Nokia box, 1 and 2. Put a flathead bit in your screwdriver, pry those out, then we should be able to separate the carpet from the subwoofer, because we are going to need to open up the DSP Nokia subwoofer box and salvage some connections and wires, I think. I need 2 hands for that, so I'll be right back. We're looking at about 35 minutes right now. With the Nokia box out of the way, I went ahead and started the installation process. Unfortunately, this car, being a 2 of 2000, didn't have the holes pre-drilled, as you can see. As you can also see, I have a drill and a fairly large drill bit and a tube of toothpaste and a shish kebab stick. Some of you are laughing right now, that's okay. I also have some books from 15 years ago that I've been using in conjunction with an ancient toolbox, a newer toolbox, and some ice, because I live in Ohio, or some salt to melt some ice. Pretty much make myself a little tower here. Put the subwoofer up on top of it. Get it where you want it. Shore it up with some books so it stays there. get a shish kebab, put some toothpaste on the end, poke it through the hole. That leaves an indent, not an indent, but a mark on the deck material here where you then drill through. And amazingly, I got all three of those completely spot on. I then got my screws, which I actually found in my basement. They're just machine screws that go into the subwoofer from the top down. One of them is right there. Screwed them in and it's tight as heck. And there it is. So installation seems to go pretty well, even with third grade materials here, no joke. So I'm gonna get the other one mounted up here and then we're gonna tackle the wiring process. All right, so that one took a heck of a lot longer, but it's up there and they look straight and they look center to me. So that's good news. All three screws, I had a lot of trouble with this one in the back, but I did get it in. That looks like a huge mess back there. It is. I'm gonna have to do a lot of cleaning after this. But I am gonna go after the wiring now. First thing I'm gonna do in regards to wiring is come over to the Nokia box. I've actually done this before, and remove all of these. They're Torx bolts. There's probably 20 of them. So get a screwdriver, get a comfortable chair and an orange juice and get going. Cool, so here are the goodies we have inside of the Nokia box. Remove those 50,000 Torx screws. There's the lid right there. Here's one side of the screws and there's the other side. Remove that, you get this. I've actually dissected it a little bit, but here are the old, they look like they're 4-inch, but my gosh, are they still high quality. That thing is heavy. There's a part number on that. I mean, it really does feel like a nice product. It may not be as powerful as today's standards would desire, but back then it was a good thing. So there's both of those, and then the wiring harness in here is really easy to remove. There's just the 4 Phillips head screws on each main sub, then they pull straight out. There's gonna be a piece of wire going over there to the other side. Then here is where the original connector was that we unplugged when we removed it from the car. It's 4 more of these little Phillips guys holding that in, then that pulls out. There's spade connectors on each of the outgoing subwoofers. You pull the green wire out of that, and then you just pull the whole thing by this out the little hole. The reason we're doing it this way is so we don't have to modify the wiring harness in the car. Hopefully we'll be able to plug this in just like it was before, hide everything behind the carpeting and up out of the way and out of sight. And then this is going to be our left sub, and this is going to be our right sub. So I'm going to get some wires going. I'm going to play and let you know how to do this. So I think I've saved you guys a lot of work. Seems to be working. There's what we plugged in before, and here's what you want to do. So yeah, I really don't know how to explain this, but hopefully you got this harness that takes your right and your left into one cable. If you didn't, the colors should be the same. Your blue and white, well, okay, so let's designate left and right. Obviously, the shorter of the 2 pairs of green wires are going to be your left, that one, since there's less wire. Your longer ones, of course, are about 3 times the length. They were originally coming all the way over here for your DSP box. So that designates left and right. So let's talk about left first. Ignore everything under my left thumb here. So there's going to be two sets of 2 wires, so 4 wires in total, coming to your left side. On each of the green ones, it's a solid green and then a green and black. Your green and black is going to go on the blue and brown, and then your solid green is blue and white. Your other side, still on the left side, is yellow and black paired with solid green, yellow and gray paired with green and black. So that will make your left speaker work. Your right speaker, utilizing the longer green wires, one of your sets is your black and green and your gray and brown, where the solid green pairs with the red and yellow. On the other channel, still for the right side, is the green and black paired with yellow and brown, your solid green with white and yellow. Put all those together. This is just to see if it works. I got some wire connectors. I'm going to take all these apart, potentially restrip if I can't get things straight, and then I'll crimp them on in place how it should be. This, I'm thinking I'll pull this little rivet out here, hide this whole connector behind the carpet, and then snake the rest of the wires over there so it's pretty and you can't see it. At least that's my plan with that. So I'm gonna work back here a little bit before I completely reassemble the back seat. I did put my rear deck back up in there. I haven't screwed it down, but I had placed it back up there and turned the radio on and turned the bass up. It's definitely a noticeable difference over the DSP. It's not ridiculous. It's not going to vibrate your car. That's not what it's for. If you want to vibrate your entire garage, then you go and you buy like some 72-inch subwoofer that takes up half your trunk space. This is just tight, snappy bass that's probably a solid 40 to 60% more powerful than your other system. So I'm gonna mess with this, make sure I don't need anything under the deck with my wiring, finish that up, and then we are gonna reassemble the interior. Alrighty guys, we're all set. We're in actually 4 hours and 10 minutes. But I was really picky with doing those wires. As you can see, everything is hidden away really well. The main wire's right here. Then I went ahead and poked it through that hole there and then ran it over. As you can see, I didn't get all of it up inside the body of the car. I still have this piece here. If I had done it before I put all the wires together, I could have snaked it through there. So take those words of advice. I made the mistake. So now I have to look at that when I lay in my trunk upside down once every 35 years. So big deal. But there's the main connection. Everything works really well. I have not spent a whole lot of time playing with it, enough to make sure that it wasn't ridiculously rattling. There are definitely some more noises back here. I think I can adjust that. I had the bass all the way up on the amp, which is my first issue. I don't like that much bass anyway, so I'll be playing with that. I put everything together back here. It went together really well, no problems. All I need to do now is vacuum out the trunk, clean the inside of the rear window, wash the car. It's filthy because it's Ohio winter. I'm not gonna do a sound clip just because you'll never hear it through a camera and through YouTube audio rendering and all of that. But that's what the finished product looks like. I hope this video helped you guys out. Leave me some comments. If you have any questions, send me an email, ryan@e39source.com. Take a look at that, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.